Welcome to the 4th Imperialism video in the last 5 videos. Have I seriously ran out of ideas this bad? Okay, but don't worry because today is a fun one as it is the complete opposite of a normal episode, the worst team standing wins. As always, I'll spin a wheel for selection and direction and teams will attack and expand hoping they can lose their way to be the last team standing. All normal rules today are flipped. So for instance, an expansion today will remove a player from the team, a loss against the team will also remove their best player, and the power-ups today are very on par. We have homeless, which means no more home games. We have dumped. 2 best players are dumped onto random teams. We have slice twice, which is the opposite of double trouble. You lose 2 players for every loss. We have butterfingers, where the top 3 wide receivers will lose 10 overall. Burnt toast, where the top 3 cornerbacks will lose 10 overall. Stormtrooper, where the quarterback will lose 10 overall. And probably my favorite today has the potential to be really good as well. Chicken legs, where the kicker will lose 25 overall. Let's go ahead and place these power-ups, starting with our first one, which is homeless, and it's going to the state of Utah. Next one up is the dumped power-up going to Kansas. Then we have slice twice, which is going to Alabama. Butterfingers is up next. It's going to West Virginia. Now burnt toast, which is going to Montana. Stormtrooper, the quarterback one, is going to Virginia. And our last one today, chicken legs, will be going to the state of New Mexico. I can't do it anymore, man. Why do the Broncos have this every single episode? 1, 2, 3 power-ups they can get to begin today. Shout out to the Carolina Panthers and Tennessee Titans. They have a lot of power-ups in their close vicinity. Matter of fact, every single team in the South, all these teams kind of suck. They have a chance today. The Chiefs could set themselves up real nicely if they get an arrow to the left, getting them dumped. We'll just see how it plays out. But yeah, it's time to begin loser imperialism. Pick your team who you think is going to win, or lose, I should say. So let's crown a loser starting with turn number 1. So who wants to be the first loser today? Will it be the Pittsburgh Steelers? They're kind of used to losing in this series. That's obviously going to be the case when you share a border with the Ravens, Eagles, and Bills. Imagine they end up winning this game instead, as they'll travel south. So into the panhandle of Maryland, the Steelers will go. We're going to have a good team get eliminated first. Okay, here's the deal, Lamar. I need you to summon your inner playoff form for this game. 3rd down and short. Hopefully they mess this one up. It's a jet pass. It's going to be 4th down. They're not putting Justin Tucker on the field. That might be a good thing anyways, because that dude's got some crazy allegations. Lamar Jackson's gonna run it into a man pile of Steelers. That's exactly what I wanted you to do. 2nd and 5, hand off to Najee Harris. He picks up a 1st down. That's not the time. He needs to throw an interception here or take a sack. Why is Russell Wilson actually looking good? Russell Wilson's got to find a way to give this ball back to the Ravens. He was close. He almost threw an interception. Will they set up a punt? It's 3rd down and 7. Can Lamar get the football back? And yes, he will. There you go, Derrick Henry. Negative 3-yard rush. Let's see more of that. Just to cancel it out with a 17-yard reception to Zay Flowers. Oh no, they're gonna score a touchdown. What is happening? I go up the simulation for 5 plays and Lamar dices up the Steelers defense and they score a touchdown. I don't know what the hell just happened, but Russell Wilson is doing his job. He's got his team to a 3rd down and 3. If they get any more yards, they might get in field goal range, so don't make that happen. Russell Wilson might take another sack. He's gonna wind up. Oh no, they're in range. No. I need you to shank this kick towards the right. Boswell drills it, and the Steelers are in front. I mean, a 5-yard pickup and burning your final timeout. You can't complain about that. They're just throwing awful passes right now. This is exactly what you need to do to waste the clock. I'm telling you, I'm glad this is not a main episode because it looks like the Ravens are actively trying to lose this game. 5 seconds on the clock. This is going to be the final play unless it's somehow a Hail Mary. Does Lamar even get it off? That's exactly what I wanted to do. Good job, Ravens. You guys lost. Remember, in Imperialism, you're not allowed to gain quarterbacks, so that means you're not able to lose quarterbacks as well. They're going to lose Derrick Henry. He's gone. Come on, Steelers. This episode was made for you. You have the defending Super Bowl champions sharing a border with you, and you still ended up winning a game. But look on the bright side, Steelers fans. You won a game. You can't complain about winning, unless it's today. I think I might have just came to a conclusion that no matter what I do for the Steelers, no matter what episode it is, they're still going to suck. It's just how they perform in Imperialism. But next up, let's go to a team that's definitely going to suck today, the Arizona Cardinals. I say this because they share borders with 2 power-ups, and the teams they share borders with, except the Raiders, they'd probably lose to. Well, we might get an early power-up off the board for the Arizona Cardinals. They're going the East. Well, that's exactly what's going to happen, and they're going to get the chicken legs power-up. I was excited for this one. Now, their starting kicker, which I don't remember who it is, he's going to lose 25 overall. The first thing that's going to happen, however, is that they're going to lose their best player, which is Buda Baker, because it's an expansion. Now, let's take a look at their kicker, and oh yeah, it's Matt Prater, who's been in the NFL for 17 years. He's currently a 78 overall, so he's going down 25. 78 minus 25. This dude is going to be a 53 overall. So don't expect the Cardinals to win on any field goals, or better yet, even make any extra points. They better be going for 2 for every touchdown. So there you have it, Cardinals. A 40-year-old 53 overall kicker. Best of luck losing today. I think we have an early betting favorite today, but let's go just west of them to LA with the Chargers. Will they put Matt Prater to the test? They could. Well, not quite. It goes to the Southern Triangle, the state of Nevada, so it's going to be against against the Raiders, this is actually a tougher loss for them. Y'all want to talk about a true threat today? Look no further than Las Vegas, as they do have some points on the board, but I think this should be an easy loss for them. Okay, why is this game actually getting kind of close? Do not take the lead. And so we're tied. Mr. What If Man Justin Herbert has a 3rd and 4. He better convert this because the Raiders, they definitely need to move on. Oh my goodness, he knows the script too. J.K. Dobbins, dude knows I'm recording this right now. Good for him. So now they can send out Dicker the kicker for a long, like 45-yard kick, which they could possibly miss. Here's the kick right here. The Chargers take a lead. They do. This is actually a hilarious start to the video. Why are people actually trying to play bad? Looks like the Raiders figured the plot out too. They're punting the football on a 3-and-out. I got faith they'll close it out in a loss. The Chargers will win 24-21, which means they're eliminated. As we should commonly know, Vegas is a place you should go to if you want to lose a lot. Tell that to my pockets when I turn 21. Hey, shout out to J.K. Dobbins though. He knew exactly what was going on today, but his team, they just didn't. Here's the Cowboys. They do a lot of losing. Will they do a lot of losing with sharing a border with the Cardinals? Not too sure. But they will head directly north to an expansion Oklahoma, which means they will lose a player. So they will lose Micah Parsons. This is nothing they're not used to already. I say that because he's probably filming his next podcast as we speak. Let's go to the other Texas team. A team with not as great of a chance to lose today, as they'll also be heading north. Well, damn, what a lucky error that was. They just threaded the needle between the Cowboys and Saints. They'll also be losing a player. We're going to force CJ Stroud to throw some interceptions. So let's say goodbye to Joe Mixon. Seems like neither of the teams want to be in Texas today. Let's go to my Green Bay Packers. I am cheering for you guys to lose. You will never hear me say that again, by the way, as the Packers looks like they might go against the Lions. Without a doubt, as we jump over Lake Michigan into Detroit, so the Packers, they did get swept by the Lions. Can we make it 0 for 3? Okay, come on now. Out of all games you choose to be competitive with the Lions, it's this one as we have a lead going in the 4th quarter. The Lions just changed that, however. Jordan Love, you remember when you had the ball last in the divisional round a couple years ago against the Niners? I need you to reenact that. Handoff to Josh Jacobs. This is not how you lose games right here. Another handoff to Jacobs, but this time he goes down thanks to Aiden Hutchinson. 2nd and 11, Jordan Love goes down. Aiden Hutchinson is completely throwing. Somebody needs to get Aiden Hutchinson off the field. He's just dominating way too much. Jordan Love slings it. It's going to be a catch, but a long 4th down. Absolutely perfect game plan. Let's punt the football as usual. I've watched enough of Packers defense selling this year. Perfect. There we go. The Lions will end up winning as they put a touchdown on the board and they win 28-25. Goodbye to Detroit. Maybe they would have had a better chance today if they played the Washington Commanders. Let's say goodbye to 75% of the Packers offense. Josh Jacobs. Man, I haven't felt this good losing to the Lions since we used to rest our starters against them in week 17. All is expected so far. All the teams that should be losing are losing. Let's continue with the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not used to losing. Referees are going to have to keep their yellow laundry in their pockets for today's episode as the Chiefs will travel northeast. Oh no, it was a good 4-turn run for the Chiefs. They have to play the ultimate CEOs of losing, the Chicago Bears. But who knows, maybe the Chiefs will play like they did in the Super Bowl. They're currently doing just that as we speak. The Bears are winning 14-0. Wrong time, Chicago. Will we see our first upset? The Bears are more than likely going to take a lead here. There you go, Caleb Williams. Enter your rookie self. So Chicago will take a lead with a field goal kick. Granted, Cairo Santos doesn't shake this, but this is going to give 4 minutes for Patrick Mahomes to screw up and put a touchdown on the board. It's currently 20-17. It's a cross for another 1st down. Look at this run after the catch, and it's going to put them to the 5-yard line. So the Bears defense, they might as well just give up a touchdown. Imagine they make a goal line stop. It's 2nd and goal from the 5, and there's the touchdown we were waiting to see. I would be completely shocked if Caleb Williams goes down the field in 1 minute and puts a touchdown on the board. Good. The real losers lost here. The Bears are staying alive on the board. It's just what they do, man. Don't play with them, Kansas City. Chicago will lose 89 overall Jalen Johnson. Will this affect much? Probably not. They'll just be able to lose in more comfort now. That's been their slogan for the last 15 years. Kansas City got me a little worried there for a second, but let's go to the 49ers. They probably will have a hard time losing, especially with the numerous X factors they have on this roster, but they could lose one here. You gotta start somewhere. They're gonna expansion to Oregon. They're gonna lose somebody. Who do I remove from this team? This is actually a tough decision. Me personally, I think Fred Warner's the biggest game changer, so he's no longer a 49er. They still got like 4 or 5 more X factors they gotta take care of. The Commanders, can they lose? They do share a border with 2 power-ups, one of them being Stormtrooper, which they might just get right here. So yes, they're going south into Virginia. They get the expansion, so they'll lose a player. They'll also get Stormtrooper, which means Jaden Daniels will lose 10 overall. So not only are we making Jaden Daniels worse worse, they're also going to lose Jaden Daniels' best target, Terry McLaurin. So Daniels is currently an 85 overall X factor. He's now going to become a 75 overall. That's actually a big difference. This is hard to see how much of a difference this will make because he will keep his X factor, so he's still going to have potential, but we'll just see. Nonetheless, you can't complain about losing your best receiver in 10 overall to your quarterback. Let's go back to the other losers just a couple turns ago, the Packers. Are they trying to get swept by their division? They almost did it this year. They're going down towards Chicago. I actually have a little faith the Packers lose this game. I'm only saying that because of the way they lost in week 18 against the Bears, but you know what? Anything can happen. We'll be down to 2 NFC North teams after this loss. There can only be one bigger loser. Who wants it more? Or should I say, who wants it less? They're going to try to make it a touchdown difference with Cairo Santos, and he puts it through. And the game plan for the Packers is to go 3 and out. Green Bay, I need you to let me down for once, and they don't do that. They get a first down, Marshawn Lloyd. It seems to me this was the end of the Green Bay Packers run today, as they're going to win a game against the Bears, as expected. You know, it's normal. I'm kind of content with this. I watched the Packers beat the Bears, but they're also going to be eliminated. Chicago's on a great path to become muddled dog water. I mean, they just lost their best target. Might as well cheer for the Bears now. Keep up the losing. You're doing great, sweetie. That makes 5 winners down, as we'll continue with the 49ers. Last time they got a little lucky with an expansion, but they probably won't have a choice. So yes, they'll be matched up against the Rams, but at least they actually have a pretty good chance of losing this game because they like to lose to the Rams in the regular season. Well, I knew this was going to be a challenging loss for both sides of the football, but the Niners starting out strong. They already got a 10-yard penalty. It's first down and 20, and it's going to be a 2nd and long. Will Brock Purdy find a way to give this football back to the Rams? He goes to a check down to Christian McCaffrey, and he picks up the first down. That's not good. Maybe they'll learn from their mistakes this time. It's another 3rd down. You can't convert this one. Purdy might get sacked by Jared Verse, or he might get sacked by somebody. Never mind, he runs. Oh, he fumbles the football. Perfect. They pick it back up, but it's still 4th and 4. Just about a 50-yard kick for Jake Moody to put the Niners on top, and yes, he drills it through, so the Rams need a touchdown to win this game. Rams have 90 seconds to find a way to choke this game. Stafford might be doing exactly that as he takes a sack. 3rd and 10. They also don't take a timeout, so it seems Sean McVay knows the special occasion today. 3rd down and 10 for Matthew Stafford, already backing up 10 yards. He's going to throw it deep. Hopefully this is an arm punt or interception. It's an incompletion. Good. One more of those, and the Rams will have to give up the football to the Niners. This is going to be over the head of his receiver, and it's perfect in the case of the Rams, as the Niners have to get the ball back. And the Niners just need it away with Brock Purdy, so the Rams will be moving on. I know Cooper Kupp's not going to be in Los Angeles for the future, but he's still a Ram in this video, so he's gone now. Couldn't have drawn up a better game-losing drive than that, Los Angeles. That's exactly how you do it. As for San Francisco, I mean, you were too stacked. It's not like you were winning today anyways, or losing. I've had to correct myself so many times today by accidentally saying winning instead of losing. Speaking of losing, that's what the Panthers do. Probably not a lot in the future, however, as Bryce Young's getting much better at football. As they're going south, they'll gladly just lose their best player with an expansion to South Carolina. So they're losing Derek Brown, and I believe he was injured all of last year, so this is nothing new for them. Their best player now is J.C. Horn at an 85 overall. Next up is the Atlanta Falcons, who are now sharing a border with the Carolina Panthers, and they might be going that direction. Yes, it will. So let's see if losing Derek Brown was enough for the Panthers to lose this game. Somebody bad's going to be eliminated pretty early. Michael Penix has got to be careful to not put this game out of reach. It's 3rd down and 10, and he's going to throw an almost interception. You know what? We'll take it. They'll have to kick a field goal. What a very tactical play by that defensive back. He knew if he actually put his hands on the interception, he might have got a pick 6. They played it smart, and now the Falcons are going up 6 points. The only dilemma is that Bryce Young was Mr. Game Winner last year, so let's hope he doesn't convert this 3rd down and 13 on a cross, and honestly, a really good block by Adam Thielen just set up failure for a first down to the 40. From the 46, Bryce Young might run for a first down, and we're already closing in Falcons territory. But hey, shout out to the Falcons defense. They're doing exactly what they do best, letting teams drive on them with the final minutes in the game. Seems like Atlanta wants to lose this game more. This is another cross. This could be a touchdown for the Panthers. They tied up at 27, and the extra point will put them in the danger zone. This was not the time to be Mr. Game Winner, Bryce Young. So yes, this extra point will put the Panthers on top. However, MPJ has 1 minute to accidentally win this game. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Well, after a good kick return to the 49, there is a huge chance that the Falcons mess this up, and they're already in Panthers territory. Oh my goodness. You just cannot afford to get any more yards than this. They're from the 39, so they could definitely kick a field goal from this range. Michael Penix Jr. has the first down to Drake London. Oh, what a sell. And this kick is to eliminate the Atlanta Falcons as they're up 30-28, all because of that kick return. Man, I doubt the Panthers go down the field and get points on the board with 12 seconds. they do not. The Panthers will be moving on. What an absolute disaster class for the Falcons. They're just the most middle ground team in Imperialism. They can't successfully win when it matters, and they can't successfully lose when it matters. Well, consecutive players lost for the Carolina Panthers, as they'll now lose J.C. Horn. That might be the easiest loss out of the way for the Panthers, however, because they now share a border with the Titans and Jaguars. It's going to be hard to lose from here. Yeah, the South is just so completely mid. It's going to be hard to come out of there alive, but let's go up north with the Vikings. The Lions and Packers are already gone out of their division. Will they be the next? Not at this moment, but they'll take a very important expansion, as they're probably going to lose Justin Jefferson. That's a big loss right there for the Vikings. Can't complain about that. Well, they might stand a chance against the Bears now, but let's go to the Denver Broncos. They love expanding, so let's just go ahead and get it out of the way, or maybe not. Or maybe yes, as they'll get an expansion to Kansas, and they'll get the dump power up, which is going to help them a lot. So as a reminder, the Broncos' two best players are going to be taken away from them and added on to random teams, but first, let's take away their expansion players. So this means they're losing 3 players, actually. Goodbye to Patrick Surtain. And if we take a look at their roster, their next best 2 players are Quinn Miners and Garrett Bowles, both in the offensive line, so their offensive line is going to suck now. So let's start with Quinn Miners. Which team is going to take him? It's going to be the Raiders. This is definitely an upgrade for the Raiders, but not many upgrades will help this team from sucking. And now who's going to take over Garrett Bowles? It's going to be the Washington Commanders. So best of luck protecting a 75 overall Jaden Daniels. I think I can definitely say that power made the Broncos worse more than it made other teams better. So now let's go to the Saints. Fully expecting this team to lose their first game as they're traveling towards the east. Well, I'll definitely be standing by that opinion as they get an expansion to Mississippi to lose a player. They're also one stay closer to the Slice Twice power-up. So the Saints will lose their one X-Factor player, Demario Davis. Lots of expansions in this turn. Everyone wants to be the worst, including the Saints. Again, could they just end up getting that power-up if they get another arrow to the east, which they won't? Instead, they'll scrap through Arkansas, owned by the Houston Texans. So I imagine this will be a pretty easy loss for the New Orleans Saints. Well, they did put up a fight, but all that matters is that, yes, they did lose this game to the Texans, and Houston is gone. Seems as New Orleans is trying to match the energy of the Carolina Panthers. They'll also be losing 2 players in a row, so goodbye to Chris Olave. Also, goodbye to the Houston Texans, which is a fitting farewell. You guys were not losing this episode. Well, this brings us to a quarter of teams who accidentally won today. With 24 remaining teams, the Miami Dolphins are forced to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's nowhere else for them to go because they reside in South Florida, but honestly, this is going to be a close matchup. I have no clue who's going to lose this game, and it's going to be in Tampa Bay. This is interesting. The Buccaneers are down by 8 points. They would be moving on right now if things stayed the same, as Mayfield almost throws an interception to Jalen Ramsey. They can only take the touchdown and go for 2, but Mayfield playing exactly how he needs to right now. Will the Buccaneers even get in the end zone at this rate? It's 3rd down and 10, 4th and 6, and I imagine they could punt. Oh, never mind. They're going to go for it. I like this decision. It's 4th down and 6. Could the Miami Dolphins walk away with this one? Oh no, Mike Evans is open, and it looks like the Buccaneers have a chance of tying this game now. This is a whole different game now, as the Buccaneers are 1 yard away from putting 6 on the board and almost just throwing an interception. That would have done it for the Buccaneers. I don't know why I've seen so many dropped interceptions today. What a play call to keep them out of the end zone. Perfect. I mean, you cannot draw it up any better than this. They're doing everything possible to keep them out of the end zone, and never mind. Mayfield finds the end zone himself, but now it comes down to a 2-point conversion. What is he doing? Last chance for the Buccaneers to sell. Passing from the 2-yard line. Mayfield might take a sack here. That would be perfect for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh no, he outruns the defense, and we might have our first overtime game. So the Dolphins are starting with the football in overtime, and they're currently held to a 3rd down and 9. This would be a great chance to punt the football to Tampa Bay, but instead they get the first down. Why are these teams trying too hard? It's another 3rd down, but this time they're going to at least put points on the board unless Tua takes a sack, and it's going to be close to a first down. Do they go for this? Honestly, I would go for it. Let's just hope the Miami Dolphins cannot pick up 1 yard here, except they will, and they'll get more too. At the very least, the Miami Dolphins will take a field goal, which means if the Buccaneers put a touchdown on the board, then they end up winning. Not a great start as well. A 27-yard catch to the 39. Another 27-yard catch. The Buccaneers are selling. It just comes down to hoping Mayfield will throw an interception at the 13-yard line, which he does not. It's a 3rd down into the 4. Maybe Bucky Irving will fumble the football as he takes the handoff, and does he get in the end zone? No, he stops at the 1. Matter of fact, Bucky Irving might have just saved the day. By stopping at the 1 yard line, the Buccaneers are going to kick a field goal because overtime about to expire, and now it's next to score wins. The Dolphins get the football. Let's see if Miami will get this football back to Tampa Bay. It's 3rd down and 6. Is Tua going to run for it himself? Oh my gosh, another first down. Yeah, that's basically it. The Dolphins just got in field goal range. So they just won 33-30, which is not good, as the Buccaneers successfully are moving on in South Florida. Let's watch the game-saving run by Bucky Irving as he just falls on the 1 yard line, and that's the reason the Buccaneers are moving on. Mike Evans was a little too good that game, so yeah, he's got to go. Tampa Bay is notoriously known for losing in Imperialism. This is definitely the episode made for them. That's the wrong team to play, Miami. Shout out to the NFC South. That division sucks. So do the Saints in that division. We have a dynasty on the move. move, the Saints again are going towards Texas, and they've already successfully knocked off one Texas team. They're going to try to do the same against the Dallas Cowboys. The Saints are accidentally trying a little too hard against the Dallas Cowboys. I know we want to beat the Cowboys like everybody else in the league, but not the game to do it here. Derek Carr is in the lineup from the 47 to Alvin Kamara. If they lose this game, they might lose Kamara, but not looking like it right now. Running check down to Kamara again from the 36-yard line. They're picking up good yardage. We're inside the red zone after that catch to the 19, but Derek Carr will go down with a sack for 3rd and 19. Now they just need to fail this 4th down conversion, and the Saints will own the entirety of Texas, but instead they get the 1st down. No, it's a drop. What a tactical drop right there. Raheed Shaheed put his team over his ego, and now the Cowboys are kneeing out the clock. The Saints are going on a run. And that game very well was the last time you'll see Alvin Kamara. I would be scared to play the Saints right now. However, that being said, there's some tough matchups on their borders. They share a border with the Cardinals, Broncos, Titans, and Bears. All those teams kind of suck right now. This brings us to 10 winners eliminated. Thank the Lord we're not going back to the Saints again. I do think the Raiders have been on the move today. Where do they go this time? They'll be scratching to the top of Utah, which gives them an expansion and a really good power-up. This is homeless. Of course, this means the Raiders won't have to play a home game again for the entire duration in this video. And not only did they bet away their house, they also bet away their best player, Max Crosby. Matter of fact, I just realized something. When the Raiders lost to the Chargers earlier on in this video, I forgot to take away a player from them, so I'm going to do that again here. They're going to lose Brock Bowers as well. Despite the Raiders being in Vegas, I'm not trying to rig them here. Okay, maybe I am. Vegas had a gun to my head saying I must rig this video, so they're going again. And by going west, they're rewarded with a somewhat reasonable losable game against the LA Rams. This is a takeover majority of the West Coast. A little too close for comfort. The Raiders will put a touchdown on the board. It's 14-14, and we have overtime. I think the Raiders just turned over the ball, however. Yes, so the Rams have it at the 48. I believe they get in field goal range. This game's over. Well, field goal range wouldn't even matter if the Rams end up getting in the end zone, which is exactly what they do. I just need to find out if this is a game-winning touchdown or not. Yep, that's the end of the game. The truth is, it was rigged from the start. So the next Raider gone will be Quinn Miners, which is the player who was dumped on his roster from Denver. And it seems since I've done all this hyping up of the New Orleans Saints, a new pretender has appeared on the West Coast. 21 potential biggest losers remaining, including the Cleveland Browns, which could definitely be one of them. That will just depend on which way this arrow goes, as we might see a battle of Ohio. Yeah, going south will go into Cincinnati's territory. This is a very favorable matchup for the Cleveland Browns. It seems as a game with a score of 9-10 that both these teams are actively trying to lose this game, including the Bengals, who are about to put up a field goal to make it 13-9. This should be no stranger to Deshaun Watson. Just don't score a touchdown. And right now, David Njoku is trying his hardest to do exactly that. This offense is averaging like 8 yards a play. That one's going to be plus 10 to the 7. I have yet to see a negative play by the Cleveland Browns, as it's from the 5, and it's a slant touchdown for the Browns to take the lead. I imagine it'll be pretty easy for Joe Burrow to put points on the board, as he's only down 3 points, and he's going to take off and run for 15. Well, we're going to overtime tied at 16 after this field goal kick. Well, on the very first play of overtime, the Cleveland Browns forgot what the objective was and scored a 53-yard touchdown. It seems the Bengals are going to do the exact same thing right after that, however. Now it just comes down to the Browns if they accidentally score points or not, and they're already at midfield with Elijah Moore. Now it's a handoff to Nick Chubb, who gets good blocks, and he's inside the 40 with a stiff arm and close to range at the 35. Leave it to the Cleveland Browns, ladies and gentlemen, the one team that's bad enough to win this episode. They actually end up winning and losing themselves out of the video. So the Bengals will now be without Jamar Chase for the foreseeable future. And with the border change I'm making right now, it almost seems like we're playing a normal Imperialism video. That's a little too much orange. However, I'm looking at this map, and this is as far as from normal as possible. 20 potential losers remaining. You would think the Cleveland Browns would be one of them. The Vikings up next. Last time they went, they lost Justin Jefferson. Looks like they'll lose another good player. That arrow goes southwest, so they'll just be reuniting the Dakotas together. We'll just dismantle their offense piece by piece. Next up is Aaron Jones. Next selection will go to the New England Patriots. They definitely have a chance today. It will be hard, however, because they share a border with the New York Jets. They're just as bad. They will luck out of this one, however, with an expansion to Vermont. So goodbye to their best player, Christian Gonzalez, which is like 50% of their defense. They now share a border with both New York teams, and now let's go to the defending champions, who don't have much of a chance today. And I mean that in the nicest and best way possible, as the Eagles will go south. That goes right into Ravens territory. Both of these teams really don't have a chance today, but we'll see who loses this one. Wow, okay, the defending champions really want to win everything now. They're gonna lose to the Ravens if they don't score a touchdown here. Yes, they will. So the Eagles are moving on. Interesting. Not saying the Eagles are getting significantly worse, but they're definitely losing a big piece with Saquon Barkley. The Eagles are just checking boxes right now. They just won a Super Bowl, but now they want to win loser Imperialism. Good for them. Costume change number 5 for today's video, as we'll go to the Indianapolis Colts. They always say surround yourself with winners. It's the complete opposite the Colts are doing. That's because there's losers to their left, losers to the right, but most importantly, there's losers to the north, which is still the Chicago Bears. So best of luck losing this game game, Indianapolis. I love how low scoring these games are. This definitely feels like loser of imperialism, but how about this? A gamble, 4th and 1, handoff to DeAndre Swift, and the Bears are actually winning this game. The Bears definitely need to kick a field goal here. It's going to be a play action pass from the 3-yard line, and oh no, Rome Odunze catches a touchdown, and the Bears are going to be eliminated. Colts put a touchdown on the board, but it didn't matter anyways. They still lost this game. Would not be an imperialism episode without Quentin Nelson going on the move. This time he's getting dropped. Somehow the Minnesota Vikings are the one team to survive out of the NFC North. Gone too soon. I was definitely looking forward for Chicago to win something for once. Well, you know the drill when we go down to South Florida. You just have to dig yourself out of the trench you start in, and the Buccaneers have to go up to North Florida to play the Jacksonville Jaguars to hopefully take control of the entire state by losing. Jacksonville, what are we doing? Why are we tied with the Buccaneers right now? It is in overtime, and the Jaguars just scored a touchdown to win this game. Oh my. I said earlier you do not want to play the Buccaneers in imperialism because they suck so bad. Point proven. So now Tampa Bay loses Tristan Wirfs, and I was 100% set in stone that this was a gimme game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I thought wrong. How are the Buccaneers the one team to come out of Florida? No Bears and no Jaguars? How could we seriously continue this episode? Oh yeah, that's right, we still have the New York Giants. They could very well win a game, however. They share borders with the Jets and Patriots. It's going towards one of them. In 2008, this would have been the game of the year. 17 years later, you couldn't pay me to watch this game. However, you're gonna have to watch it right now. Way too many points being scored in this game. What happened to the glory days of good defenses? It's a 3rd and 10 for Drew Lock, and this is exactly what I imagined out of the New York Giants as he throws it away for 4th and 10, and they're punting the football. Perfect. Didn't know we're watching a Boston Red Sox game instead, but look at this 3rd and 9 completion for Drake May as they get close to field goal range. A little unnerving. Well, there's something to smile about. At least they got stopped to a field goal. From the 23, airing it out. Almost another interception. This is exactly how you should play the game today. How many times have I had to say almost an interception today? Can we just see one for once? Again, a dropped pick. Nonetheless, it sets up a 4th down and 10 for Drew Lock, who throws across, and I thought he stepped out of bounds, but he gets the 1st down. What a choke by the Giants. They keep on getting yards too. They're gonna kick a field goal. Well, this is how the Giants will choke this one away, by kicking a field goal up and good. The Patriots are now down. Bearing a kick return touchdown, we should be in the clear for a Patriots loss, and that's exactly what happened. What a masterclass of a game between these two awful teams. And you know you're a bad team when the best player you can lose is an 86 overall safety. So no Bears, no Jaguars, and no Giants. A lot of the top heavy contenders today gone. But there's still some awful teams in play as we've reached the midway mark of the episode with 16 remaining teams. Such a shame we're eliminating all these bad teams. There's too many good teams remaining on the wheel, like the Bills. I was just about to say them. There they are. The wheel has been listening to me today, and the Bills will be going south. This is another one of those games that was just not deserved to be played today. Like, why are the Bills playing the Eagles today? This doesn't make no sense. But a game is a game, and we must determine a loser, which the Eagles could lose their second one today, which would be crazy as the Bills are going up 21-10, and that's how this game unfolds. The Eagles, the Super Bowl champions, are competing today. We already dismantled the run game with Saquon Barkley. Let's now dismantle that amazing offensive line. Lane Johnson, the right tackle, is gone. I'm probably just overreacting a little bit. Once they get a matchup with the Jets and Patriots, it's definitely over for the Eagles. So since I figured out this wheel is listening to me, I want to see the Tennessee Titans. We haven't seen them once today. They're literally the worst team in the league. They have the #1 pick, but instead, let's go back to the best team in the league. This is just getting ridiculous. There's no way they continue their run past this. Okay, what is happening? Now the Eagles get an expansion to West Virginia, and they will get the Butterfingers power. So to refresh your memory, the Eagles, their top 3 receivers are going to lose 10 overall. But before we even put that power up in effect, let's help the Eagles out even more, because we'll release A.J. Brown, then we'll apply the power up. So that means their now top 3 receivers are Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, and Paris Campbell, who will all be losing 10 overall. So Devontae Smith drops down to a 77 overall. Jahan Dotson's now a 63 overall, and Paris Campbell a 62. All of a sudden, I'm not laughing anymore at the idea of the Eagles going on a run, but the Cardinals are up next. I'm glad to see this team in play. I want to see how bad Matt Prater is going to perform as they travel north. So it's going to be the Cardinals taking on the Broncos. Remember, the Denver Broncos not looking too hot today as well. They've lost a lot of good players. This is going to be a tough matchup with 2 really bad teams today. You know what? Why need a 53 overall kicker if you can't even put points on the board in the first place? Way to get shut out, Cardinals. So this will remove Trey McBride from the equation. Seems to me the Denver Broncos were a fraudulent bad team today. The Cardinals way worse than I expected. I was thinking it would be hard for the Cardinals to put points on the board because of their kicker. It was hard to put points on the board because of every single aspect on their team. Let's go back to the Raiders. The Raiders are homeless. They gambled their life savings on their house, and they're going towards the southeast. And oh, we got another primetime game. Both of these teams are awful, and both these teams have power-ups. Which one is going to make more of a difference? Down to 60 seconds. I'm just so hoping to see Matt Prater get on the the field, but another deflection. Why are they showing his target line at the 33? His target line's probably the 3. So 3rd down and 9, unless Kyler Murray gets a first down, or he's gonna run for the first down, and he does. He gets to the 20. There's no defenders in sight, and he's well close to the 10-yard line. They call a timeout at the 12. Even still, I don't think they're inside Matt Prater's range, so they're gonna try to get closer with James Conner at 2nd and 9 to 11. This is probably where they're gonna take the kick. It's gonna be a 23-yard kickabout. For any normal kicker, this is a pooch kick. For 40-year-old, 53 overall Matt Prater, it is a little rainbow that makes its way in, and the Raiders actually end up losing this game. What an absolute sell by Kyler Murray. You just had to have the run of your life to set up that kick, and it was even close to missing still. Such a shame. I knew that power up was going to be good if it was in the right hands, but Kyler Murray actually had a decent game, not the day for it. We're just getting to that weird point of this video where the best players team can lose are on their offensive line, as Colton Miller is no longer a Raider. I mean, at the end of the day, what's worse? Having a broken leg like the Cardinals or being homeless? Probably being homeless. Rest in peace, Arizona. Gone too soon. But let's go back to the Vikings. Maybe they'll get another expansion. That's the only reason they're competing today. They've lost all their good players because of expansions. This could be another one. Make it number 3 today as that goes down to Iowa. Seems to me today that no one's going to be blocking the quarterback's blind side. Let's remove another left tackle. This time, Christian Darrisaw. Fraudulent run by the Vikings so far. Need to see him play a game. Let's go to the Jets. This team knows a thing or two about fraudulent runs because they've been on one for the last 15 years. They're going northeast. So many good pretenders getting eliminated right now. It's going to be either the Jets or the Patriots. Everyone says Aaron Rodgers is a big game choker. Well, he's going to have to prove it to me right now that he's a big game choker, as they're down by 4 points, but it's a check down. It's going to be a first down. They somehow picked up a 2nd and 17. Keep in mind, this is still Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, even though they probably would not be a Jets next year. Speaking of Devontae Adams, there he is with the first down. They're looking a little too good. Why didn't we see this in the regular season? Another first down. 2nd and 15 for Rodgers. He slings a first down to Adams. Why are they playing like prime Green Bay? 2nd and 10, 16-yard line, 50 seconds. Rodgers out of bounds. It would have been a touchdown, but couldn't get his feet in bounds was Adams. Hopefully they'll realize they're trying a little too hard for today's episode. 3rd and 10 and another dropped interception. When are we going to see one? This is low-key pissing me off. You might believe we have sliders on. No, this is normal gameplay, and that's another drop pick, but it doesn't matter because the Jets turn it over on downs, so that good drive ends with nothing, and they're still losing. Unbelievable that the Jets actually lost this game, so Rodgers is staying alive today. Yeah, Devontae Adams looked a little too good in that game. By the time you're watching this, he's probably already on a different team. Hopefully it's Green Bay. If Rodgers was just to tone it down just a little bit, or maybe they could actually intercept his passes, maybe the Jets have a big chance today. Down to 12 possible losers. Well, we'll finally go to the Titans. This is your episode. Time to shine. I low-key feel bad for them because all the other teams have kind of caught up to them. Everybody sucks on the map right now. Can the Titans be as bad as normal? They're going down. What a huge expansion that is too, as they get the slice twice power up. I've been waiting for this one to get claimed. Essentially the opposite of double trouble. They get to lose 2 players for every game they lose if they end up losing at all. And their player departure for expanding will be Jeffrey Simmons. In the snap of my fingers, the Titans are now a threat, and they're going again. What do they decide to do this time? They will travel east. Don't think I even have to draw on the screen for this one. The Titans are going to Carolina. Now is the test to see if they're worthy to be the big loser. As long as Mason Rudolph doesn't accidentally put a field goal on the board, then we're golden. It's 3rd down and 1, and it's a drop for 4th and 1. Unbelievable amount of drops today, but that's the name of the game. 4th down and 1, and they can't convert. They turn it over. Beautifully done. Just like that, the Titans are contenders today. So, the 2 players to get to lose. L'Jarius Sneed is first, and then their running back, Tony Pollard. Gotta give credit to the Panthers because they always show up in Imperialism episodes, even when it comes to losing. So, with the Titans on the move, there's only one team on the board who has yet to do anything. It's the Seattle Seahawks. Alright, this computer has like a brain chip wired to me or something. Well, on the plus side, everybody's been involved today. The Seahawks might not be involved for long, however. Or maybe they will. They'll get expansion to Idaho. They're one step closer to burnt toast, the last power up remaining. He's already essentially gone anyways. Might as well make it official. DK Metcalf, come to the Packers, please. Glad they finally made an appearance today. Let's go to the Bengals. I would be surprised to see this team continue any further, as they'll go southwest. They as well will get an expansion. This one goes to Kentucky. Another player who's essentially gone, Trey Henderson, please come to Green Bay as well. Seems that we're just playing catch up with some future free agency moves. Let's go to the expansion warriors, the Vikings themselves. Believe it or not, they still have a high chance of another expansion. They might as well get one. They almost got lucky enough to get a power up, but instead they'll just take another expansion, their 4th of the day. I have no clue who the hell Sam Darnold's gonna throw the football to. There goes TJ Hawkinson. Such a lucky run for the Vikings, but let's go to the Commanders. It's been quite a minute since we've last seen Washington. Remember, Jaden Daniels is a 75, and this is actually a very anticipated matchup of mine. We have the Eagles, who can't catch a football, considering they got the Butterfingers, and then you got the Commanders who can't throw a football because they have a Stormtrooper at quarterback. Wow, apparently both these teams are just as bad as I thought. They're only 3-3. 3-6 is a score of this game. We're talking about the Super Bowl champions. Maybe I need to stop hating on these teams. Maybe they deserve to lose today. The Eagles, let's just see what happens here. It's a 3rd down and 4. They hand it off to a white dude in the backfield. Doesn't work. The Commanders will get the football back. Let's see how a 75 overall X Factor performs. Already looking like normal Jaden Daniels himself. Brings us to 2nd down and 10. Daniels throws it out of bounds. 3rd down and 10. Daniels just stays short to set up a 4th down. Dream scenario for Washington. If they don't get this, then they're going to lose this game by 3 points. 4th down and 2. Jaden Daniels might run, and he will throw on the run instead, and he delivers an interception. It finally happened. Somebody put their hands on it. It seems having a 75 overall quarterback was the difference in this game here. And my goodness, 3-6. How is this the worst game we've seen yet? So Bobby Wagner will be the deficit for this loss. And now this video is starting to make just a tad more sense with the Eagles finally being done today. Thank the Lord. And this brings us to the top 10 teams. Some of them make sense, other teams not so much. I'll let you be the judge on who should be here and who shouldn't. Speaking of who shouldn't be here, well, they have battled through adversity this entire episode because they have no choices at all. They've made like 0 choices for themselves today. They've just been strictly advising by the rules like a North Korean citizen. I guess I'm Kim Jong-un then, because I'm forcing them to play the Tennessee Titans and they can do absolutely nothing about it. I guess the new common theme right now is 6-3 games. Instead, the Buccaneers did put a touchdown on the board, and I don't think the Titans are going to tie this one up with a touchdown themselves, and the levee finally broke. The Buccaneers will win, and the Titans will stay alive. Well, that's 2 more players leaving the Titans, starting with Chidobe Awuzie and Calvin Ridley. Not to say the obvious, but the Titans, I do believe, are the very worst team on the map right now. Okay, final costume change, I promise you. With 9 remaining teams, we have the Bengals. I'd say this is the most surprising team still standing on the map. They probably won't be standing for long, but who knows? They're playing another team who's outstayed their welcome, in my opinion, the Washington Commanders. Both these teams a little too good to be here, but the Commanders, they've had some really good attributes today to help them make it this far. Let's see who loses this one. It seems to me the Bengals have definitely outstayed their welcome. The Commanders are actually just awful today. So this will result in Jonathan Allen getting dropped. He's probably already getting dropped from the Commanders already. Unbelievable that the Commanders have made it to the top 8 teams remaining. Washington and Minnesota are the 2 teams that made the playoffs that are still surviving at the moment. Here's the Seahawks. It's not really fair to say they made it this far because of their well-doings. They honestly just have not been called on at all. But better late than never, because they're going to claim the final power today, which is burnt toast, which is going to make their top 3 defensive backs all lose 10 overall. Well, this is already helping with their efforts because their expansion loss is cornerback Devin Witherspoon. So if you take a look at their depth chart to see which 3 corners are losing 10 overall, we have Tariq Woolen going to a 76, Trey Brown going to a 64, and Artie Burns going to a 60. So changes have been applied. I fully expect this team to be giving up 500 passing yards a game. Well, at least we know everyone is a pretender on the wheel remaining, even maybe the Indianapolis Colts. Let's see what the Colts decide to do. They will attack south, and they ended up going just southwest enough to completely avoid the Commanders, which actually gives them a tougher game to lose against the New Orleans Saints. Anybody's game to lose here, folks. The good news is that there's 2-step verification. You see, they're down by 8 points, so if they get in the end zone, they have to worry about not getting the 2-point conversion afterwards. Derek Carr is going to pass for a 1st down. That gets him even closer in range to the 12-yard line. No Alvin Kamara to hand the football off to. No Chris Olave to throw the football to. So where does he go here? He goes on a cross. It's a 1st down to Taysom Hill, and he's tackled at the 1, 1st and goal. That's somebody the Saints still have. Might be for the worse, and there's the touchdown. Now it comes to a 2-point try. Jamal Williams with a 1-yard touchdown. What's new? He did this 20 times in Detroit. Maybe he'll also get the 2-point try as well. He will not. It will be a pass to Taysom Hill, and the Saints have tied it. What are we doing? This game went to overtime, but the Colts returned the favor, and they put a touchdown on the board. But it looks like the Saints are selling too. But who knows? It's 3rd down and goal. They're passing from the 1-yard line. Doesn't fail this time. This game is going to be tied. You know, that's not necessarily a bad thing because that forces the Colts to put probably points on the board, which they're already in range to kick a field goal. I imagine they'll do exactly that. They go down and get the points. It was a little close for comfort, but the Aints, they're continuing their good run today. So that loss will say goodbye to their 89 overall center, Eric McCoy. And the Saints have now kind of created a blockade in the Mississippi Valley region, blocking off 3 teams from the other 3 teams. That being said, if you want to go coast to coast, you gotta go through the Saints. Down the 7 remaining teams, and let's go to the Vikings, where they actually play a game for once. The worst part about it too is that they even have an expansion possibility, but I think it's finally over. They have to play the Seahawks. Matter of fact, I don't think the Seahawks have played their first game today, so it just comes down to who can lose their first game today. The score of this game is 7-6 at halftime. I think they both deserve to make it this far. It just comes down to whoever's going to put up points on the board next. The Seahawks put a touchdown on the board. We might have another overtime game, which we probably will. No Justin Jefferson, no TJ Hawkinson, no Aaron Jones. Your best target is probably Jordan Addison. In the backfield, your best target is probably Cam Akers. And Sam Darnold is throwing it up the sideline for probably interception. No, it's a catch at the 1-yard line. him. Tariq Woolen, which I forgot is now burnt toast because he lost 10 overall. He completely overcorrected himself. He has absolutely zero awareness now. Look, he was 10 feet above the receiver. That power-up just completely proved itself to me that it's actually awful. And this is a handoff, but a tackle going backwards. If the Vikings can just hold themselves to 3 here, that would be huge. It looks like they're going to do exactly that. Sam Darnold takes a sack for 3rd and goal to 12. So it seems to me that even though Seattle's corners suck, their defensive line is still just as good. So it's 4th down and goal. The Vikings will put 3 on the board. The Seahawks gotta hope they do the same or less. 3rd down and 9. They get stopped here. They'll kick a field goal. 4th down and 2. Are they gonna go for it again? Good. They made the correct decision. So they're kicking a field goal and they'll be forcing the ball back to the Vikings' hands to win this game. Just as I imagined, they drove down the field and put a field goal on the board. So the Vikings are eliminated in their first game. The Seahawks are staying alive. So that will remove Kenneth Walker from Seattle and all those expansions, Minnesota, but absolutely nothing to show for it. I hate to break it to you, Minnesota, but the only team that can do all those expansions and get away with it are the Denver Broncos. They're not with us anymore, however, but let's go to the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is still on the board somehow, and they're going towards the east. They'll take a free player loss on expansion to New Hampshire. Might have just been the last X Factor standing on the map. Sauce Gardner's no longer on the Jets. They were definitely going to need to lose him if they want to compete with these other teams, including the Titans. They have 2 choices, the Commanders or the Saints, and it might be closer to the Saints. I did say earlier, if you want to go coast to coast, you have to play the Saints, and the Titans are up for the challenge. I'm surprised these teams were able to put up double digits. It's 1st and goal or 2nd and goal from the 2, but doesn't matter because they get in the end zone. The Saints are losing at the moment. I knew the Saints were going to be a challenge. They're already starting off their next possession with an 8-yard loss. It's a 4th down and 1. Do they decide to go for it or they punt the football? They punt the football. If the Titans put any points on the board, this game could be over. They don't even do that. They just drain out the entire clock. The Saints are continuing their run today. And so by draft order, the number 1 worst team in football is eliminated. This results in the Honey Badger being eliminated from the Saints. And what's also going to happen is we have a transfer of this Slice Twice power-up. It's now in the Saints' possession, and if they end up losing another game, that's when they'll get 2 players taken off. And that will bring us to the top 5. Any surprises? And by the way the Saints are playing, there might be another loss in sight. So let's go to the Commanders. Could very well be against the Saints. They share most of their borders. It's going south. Yeah, I think that one's pretty obvious. So another really bad team is going to get eliminated, either the Saints or the Commanders. Yes, the Commanders were bad today, but the Saints are on a whole nother level, a whole nother atmosphere. They got shut out by the Commanders. You know what's even worse? This team is about to lose 2 more players because of the power-up they just gained. Derek Carr put up 0 touchdowns and 114 yards. So the first player they're losing is Ryan Ramczyk, and I haven't even heard of this dude, Paulson Adebo. Just looking at the Saints roster, their best player is Carl Granderson, who's an 80 overall. Everyone else is under that, just a bunch of 70s. I genuinely do not know if these other 3 teams remaining are on par with how bad the Saints are right now. But there's only one way to find out, and let's go to the New York Jets. If I'm New York right now, I'm just hoping I land on as much expansions as possible, but they don't get that lucky. Time for the Saints to harvest another victim. Sincerely, I don't know if anybody else remaining has a chance. It might be game over already. So time to release 2 more players with Carl Granderson and Rashid Shaheed. We can take down the Jets' puny little territory in the Northeast to give us 3 final teams. The final 3 teams. Let's go to Seattle. They can still get an expansion, which is a crazy possibility this late. Could be. Well, that's unfortunate. Based on where I have their logo, that's actually going down into Raiders territory. And remember, they have homeless, so they can't play this game at home. We're going back to Seattle to play this game, which therefore means the Saints have clinched their way to the championship game. Congratulations, you guys earned it. In a very interesting score, down by 5 points is the Raiders at 20-15, and it's a 3rd and 5 from their own 25. It comes down to Gardner Minshew to keep that way, and I don't even think he's on the Raiders anymore, but he's getting first downs with them, and that's to the 34. Seems to me the Raiders remembered how to do their job. It's a 3rd down and 14. No way they convert this. Can we stop getting first downs? And throwing an interception is Gardner Minshew. For the 2nd time today, we've seen an interception, and it came at a perfect time to bring him to the championship game. Just a little late to the commentary because I am not expecting this to happen whatsoever, but this is going to send the Raiders to play the Saints. Seahawks made it very far today, but they just did not lose enough. Only their 2nd game, they ended up winning it. So the very final player dropping this video will be Christian Wilkins, and that will bring us down to 2. And matter of fact, for our final game, we don't even have to spin an arrow because we already know where this game is being played. The Raiders still have the homeless power, which means this has to be in New Orleans. Therefore, it's Raiders versus Saints in the Tank Bowl, or some might call your average Thursday night football game on Amazon Prime. For all the marbles, starting now, who can be crowned tonight's biggest loser? Just a quick preview of these teams. The Raiders are a 75. Their best player is probably Jacoby Myers. The Saints at a 74. Best player probably Chase Young. Perhaps a little too high scoring for the championship game, but what matters here is that the Saints would have to go 96 yards yards and a touchdown drive to end up successfully failing and winning this game. Definitely does not help that Jamal Williams just broke free a 15-yard rush while I was saying that. Hopefully it comes down to Derek Carr being able to sell this game, and he's going to do exactly that with his arm, as he has plenty of time to throw the football, but he has a completion, and we're at midfield. There's still plenty of time to mess this one up, but you got to stop throwing checkdowns. That's too much easy yards, and this dude is faking an injury to stop the clock for the Saints, which is good. He wants them to put a touchdown on the board. Now inside the red zone, they should not go any further than this. It's another first down, and at the 3 is Taysom Hill. I have never seen Madden use the clock this well. Talk about time management. They made it all the way down this far to the 3-yard line, and they haven't used a single timeout. So it basically says they're going to score a touchdown right here, which they do, and they take the lead. Just going to quick send the last 80 seconds of the game. Maybe the Raiders accidentally put a field goal on the board. It's 17-14, and they do just that. We have overtime. So now the tables have been turned. It's the Raiders who are selling, as they already put a field goal up in regulation, and they might put a field goal up in overtime. Even worse, a touchdown if they get this first down, but intercepted by the Saints. Oh no, this isn't good. That is the best case scenario for the Raiders, because if the Saints put points on the board, this game's over. But maybe the Saints go 3 and out, and it's a 4th down and 2. They're gonna punt the football. Back and forth roller coaster of a game. The Raiders are getting the football with great field positioning. More than likely, if they put a field goal, it's over. Maybe Minshew will throw another interception from the 34. He slings it down the sideline, and a wide open receiver in field goal range. It's Jacoby Myers. That's probably gonna put it into it for the Raiders. This field goal is to put it into it. It's up to Daniel Carlson to choke this field goal, but he never does that. The Saints are the winners of Losers Imperialism. And I just don't think I've ever seen a winner of one of these episodes more deserving than them. An absolute great run by a lot of teams today, including the Raiders, but something was just different in the air in New Orleans today, and they got it done and take control of the entirety of the United States of America as the big losers. Well, there you have it. This might be the first and last time you'll ever see this image in an Imperialism episode, because the Saints, I don't see them winning an actual one anytime soon. But that will put it into today's video. There's no stats because this isn't part of the mainline series. That would be kind of unfair. The Saints would be stat padding if that was the case. So yeah, thank you guys for watching another Imperialism. About to try a bunch of new stuff going into football offseason, so I'll see you guys soon for our next upload.